that's why I find this kind of platform so interesting, and the Minds chats, because we can do like specialized deep dives into topics and like debate stuff and share sources and stuff like that. Because to me, that's how you get to the bottom of things, is by looking at source material. Look at primary sources of information.
Yeah.
At the beginning of things, but yeah.
And you posted some more books on here. I'm gonna try to go through. Last one is the Ingo Swan, and then you have another one, Secret Society, the Illuminati, Separating Fact from Fiction, from Conway Buer. Then the American Empire and its media. That's okay, so that's...
These are just like maps showing how most of the wealth in the world is concentrated in very few hands, very few organizations control pretty much all the corporations in the world. The big ones anyway. And then I've shared like a bunch of other, like I found them really good researchers in this field of like New World Order, secret societies, shadow government stuff. That first one is the Secret World Government, the Hidden Hand, revealed through history. And Tex Mars is like a legendary researcher. He's dead now, but his books are all epic and very well researched. And New World Order,
Major General Count Sharip Spiridovich. Is that the... I know that's not the way to do it. How do you pronounce that? Spiridovich.
I think that's right.
Okay.
So, Cherub Spiridovich.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Secret World Government, or Hidden Hand, the Unrevealed in History. And then the one you were just talking about with Tex Mars, that's the Global Empire of the Illuminati Builders, Hell Mirror. And then the New World Order. Hell's Mirror. Okay, now the New World Order by Ralph Epperson. Okay. So
look at when the Secret World Government was published by Cherub Spiridovich. 1926, that book was published, and they already knew about the Secret World Government back then. So you can imagine how long this agenda has been in play. You know what I mean?
I mean, it was in place before the Constitution was written. That's why the Constitution was written. I mean, yeah, that's. I mean,
I tell you, you know who wrote the Constitution, don't you?
Bunch of Freemasons, right? And they did it on the same year that the Illuminati was supposedly founded, 1776. Look it up on Wikipedia. The Illuminati was founded in 1776, the same fucking year, man. Coincidence? I think not.
Country from the melanin president that was running it. It's just so funny to me. I know.
John Locke wrote the Freemasons' Constitution, and he's the one who freaking wrote that. And if you compare this writing from John Locke to the Constitution of the United States, you can't. It's undeniable that it's the same thing. Okay, plain and simple. That is a good topic. I'm glad you guys brought that up.
Well, an interesting thing for if anyone's interested to look into is the Freemasons that founded America, and they were all Freemasons. The founding fathers, they call them now, but they believed in Atlantis, and they saw America as a new Atlantis, and that's why you'll see a lot of these Atlantean Masonic names for places in the US, like Philadelphia and Atlanta and stuff like that. Is all, and why there's so much like geometry in Washington DC. These are all parts of the Masonic lore that they're trying to imbue in the land there. So because they believe that they're creating a new Atlantic empire.
So what do you think about Sir Francis Bacon?
I only have a cursory knowledge. I've got his book here somewhere, but I haven't actually read it, so I can't say much on it. I know he's related to some of the aristocracy in the US, but I don't know beyond that. He was also esoteric alchemist type guy, wasn't he?
He was Well, he was into experimentation. Nobody really knows if it was alchemy or science. he ended up dying from pneumonia because he was sitting out in the cold watching meat freeze. So I don't. It's kind of hard on that one, but he wrote a book called The New Atlantis, and that really took hold during that time period because it was just after America was discovered. So, and a lot of people believe that he may have actually been Shakespeare, but my personal opinion to it is that Shakespeare is more than one person because the language that's involved with his
I remember
writing,
that theory.
He
was also connected to Theosophy, which was like the religion of Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, like way back in 1600s, which was like an occult practices and stuff like that. He also had alleged connections to the Rosicrucians and the Freemasons and stuff like that.
So there's a lot of information written up about Francis Bacon. A lot of people are either Baconians or anti-Baconians, which there's a big debate about Shakespeare, and I believe Shakespeare was actually an underground writing group that came together and wrote stories that allowed for revolution in England, which eventually led to Cromwell. You know what I mean? Because right after...
Was that part of the Enlightenment?
Yeah, that's right during that time period.
Which was kind of like an anti-Christian movement, wasn't it? Or anti-church?
I wouldn't say it was as much against the church. The Enlightenment, they were against the church rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of religious dogma, which, like I was just mentioning about people being put to death, and you were mentioning about witch burning and stuff like that. You know, they were just tired of it. It was about enlightening yourself, becoming enlightened, and age of information. The printing press had just been freaking brought out maybe 200 years before, you know, so now people could freely freaking read whatever they wanted in any language they wanted to read. Whereas before you couldn't even read the Bible unless you could understand Latin. So there was a lot of things that were involved back then. Age of Enlightenment was kind of like everybody breaking away from their old, you know, Rome was the greatest empire in the world way of thinking. Like, all of a sudden they were in a dark age because they couldn't get running water, you know.
So I have it on some authority that the Enlightenment, what was the revolution in France that happened? What was that called?
The French Revolution.
The French Revolution was funded also by these globalists that wanted to bring about the Enlightenment era, but it was really like kind of co-opted to get their own people in power. You know?
Wow.
And same with the American Civil War was also funded by these globalists. And one of the generals was Albert Pike, which was a 33-degree Freemason. He wrote the book Morals and Dogma, which is like one of the Masonic Bibles today. And in there he says that Lucifer is the ultimate god of Freemasonry, okay? Which means that Freemasonry is really secretly, in the higher ranks, a Luciferian society, or at least it got turned into that. And if you don't know anything about Luciferianism, I recommend you do that.
Who's Lucifer, though? Who's Lucifer?
Yeah.
Lucifer is a character or
it's a good
basically
question.
an alien, and he is not a good person. He is kind of a psychopath type person that has an agenda, doesn't care about anyone else as long as he can achieve his aims. And
where is this stuff documented at?
but he has a lot of power in this world, based through the secret societies because they worship him, and he gets his power from us, from people. By himself, he's basically worthless.
But hold on, so wait a minute.
Now, if you do have resources on that, like books and everything, freaking
I would love to read some of those.
Yeah, post that.
Yeah, I'll start by giving you the Morals and Dogma book and referencing that page, but then as I find the other stuff, I'll also share.
Because I've got you.
Talking about the Albert Pike one? I have that one.
I've got
but
you
I'm
on
sure
Conspiracy Corner.
Yeah.
So
I'll put it in Conspiracy Corner. Maybe I'll do a blog, because Conspiracy Corner is just the chat, but the actual Minds group is called the Lone Gunman. And there I go more into the deep dives because I can preserve this stuff there for longer. And I start a topic, and then in the comments I'll add additional information so you can like go through it at your own time and do your deep dive.
Okay. Now you're talking about Luciferian. We can't go any further with that without discussing David Icke, and I'm talking about the old David Icke. Okay, so when it comes to Luciferian and Satan, do you think freaking Satan could possibly be a draconian?
I have a strong feeling that's the case. It's the only thing that makes sense to me, and I'm a avid believer in the reptilians and the Draco Empire, and basically like Star Wars was like a whistleblower movie to me, you know, that all this stuff is real. And you can prove it to yourself. Like once you're awake to that fact, you can see it all throughout history, interwoven into all religions, all around the world. It's always been there, you know. That's why there's dragon mythology everywhere.
How do you feel about the Draco and the reptilians?
Well, I see them like I see a shark. Like I have a respect for it, but at the same time, I wouldn't go near the motherfucker. You know, they're vicious. And
but if you got talked to, if you were a fisherman, would you try to kill it? Like if you know, sharpshooter fisherman, like with the spearheaded fisherman. Yeah.
I think we should get them off this planet because they just here to enslave us, and that's their goal. So
you think you should put them
never
on Mars?
Come over to our side and see the light.
Yeah.
What do you think has a better living condition, Mars or the Moon? Mars or the Moon would be better for them to go to?
Mars probably. It's bigger.
I don't think that's
it's got a bit of an atmosphere. But really, you can live anywhere. But
I don't like either.
The reptilians are already on Mars. This is the thing. They've been there for a long time.
Now see,
and
I just don't think Mars is far enough away. You're gonna have to like choose a place. Now I heard they came
once they go and can come back. That's the problem.
I heard they came out of the Orion Nebulous. And,
well, they actually started some of the wars there because there was other people, human-like people, giants there in the Orion sector, and then there was the Orion Wars, it's called, broke out there, and the refugees from that war came into this part of the galaxy. But the Draco Empire actually is also on the Andromeda Galaxy, have taken over a large part of the Andromeda Galaxy and is taken over like a third of this galaxy. So they're a massive conglomerate.